Good day, YouTube. Today is November 22nd, 2017. Yes, it's the day before Thanksgiving. This, my friends, is a Dutch oven. I have many Dutch ovens. There's 8 of them there. There's another 4 of them over there. There's another one down there. I have a lot of Dutch ovens. This is a monster. To give you an idea of how big this is, it's a normal half-liter bottle of water. And yeah, it's a big oven. The thing of it is, I use this around the holidays for doing turkeys in, and other than that, it pretty much sits around. Protected it with, keeping oil in the bottom and so forth. But this one needs a good scrubbing. So I think today is the day we're going to give it a good scrubbing, and then we're going to stick it in the oven. I've never even actually seen if this thing fits. I think it's going to fit. I'm going to turn the oven up to about 400 and let it warm up while we give this thing a good scrubbing, because it does just sit around, and it sits on the floor because it's unbelievably heavy. I cannot even lift the Dutch oven up onto the counter with the lid in it, on it, because of its weight. I believe it's 96 pounds overall. I was told the oven was over 100 years old when I bought it. I've had it, I don't know, 8 or 10 years or something like that. Very large. It's a 17-inch deep oven. I know there's a lot of videos on the internet about, I put in a stand here, about caring for cast iron. This Dutch oven's finish isn't perfect. Typically I just cook turkeys in here, and I cook it on a trivet, and this sets down inside so we can lift the bird out. I already told you this Dutch oven weighs 96 pounds without anything in it, and I'm cooking a 23-pound turkey tomorrow. And so I have a pair of these, and they're all covered in dust because they've been sitting around. They're carry handles, actually, and they engage the sides of the Dutch oven, so obviously I have a pair of them. And I have to get some help to come over here to my shop and load this bad boy up and take it to where we're having our Thanksgiving meal tomorrow. So, very simply, I'm going to use a, because I'm going to throw it away, I'm going to grab this just ordinary sponge with a scrubby. These are dollar store, no sense doing anything expensive because we're going to do this and then toss it. So, here we go. How do we clean it? And it's just a cleaning. This isn't like an overall taking the seasoning off of it and redoing it. That's a whole different program. We're just going to clean it because it hasn't been used in a year. Okay, actually I didn't use it last year. It hasn't been used in 2 years. So we're going to dump some oil in it. This is just regular canola oil. And we're going to put some salt in it. This is going to give it some grit, some abrasive. And it's just regular Morton table salt. And then we're going to use a scrubby, not steel wool, right? Just a scrubby, or maybe a really light Scotch-Brite pad or something. And we're just going to use the oil and the salt, and we're just going to scrub this baby. Just scrub it, and I'm a little bit on the dry side. A little more oil, please. There's a lot of cast iron square footage in here, boys, and getting up the sides is going to take a lot of oil. And then we're going to throw it in the oven for about 400 degrees for 30-40 minutes, and just going to shut the oven off and let her sit, cool off slowly. There's 100 opinions about cast iron. The best opinions I like are from the people that didn't take somebody else's opinion and run with it. They developed their own opinion. I have developed my own opinion. I've seen on the internet dozens of fantastic cast iron pieces that get broke, cracked, or so forth because somebody tossed them in the fire, tossed them in the coals, didn't let the oven warm up slowly. You can't do that with cast iron. You must warm the whole oven or a lot of the oven, and you must warm it slowly. This monster Dutch oven we're working on right here is fairly valuable. I mean, it's worth hundreds of dollars. I've never seen another one. I had an opportunity at this one because the people that owned it, I expressed interest in it. They actually called me the day they bought it, and I told them if they ever sold it to give me for a shot. And they ended up moving, and they needed to sell it. I got a phone call. I left the house immediately, and I brought this back. So that's the way that worked. We're going to do the top side of the lid as well. Let me check and see if you're still in frame here. Well, let me move you over just a little bit, because there's not much finish on this, so we're going to do this as well. As you know, many people, like myself, cook with charcoal when they're heating their Dutch ovens. We heat them with charcoal. So you put charcoal underneath, you put charcoal in the lid. So the top of the lid gets fairly abused, but you don't actually put food on here. So we're cleaning and seasoning this just to make it look nicer. Again, a little more oil and regular table salt. This one you might be able to see a little bit better. And I just use a circular motion like you're waxing a car, right? Wax on, wax off, grasshopper. This thing's pretty heavy. I'll be able to take this lid and maybe put it in the sink and kind of rinse off the excess salt and oil. But pretty much, when you're Dutch oven cooking, you want to have 3 or 4 rolls of paper towels because you use a lot of them. So as we're cleaning this thing, we're pushing that oil into the porous parts of the cast iron. And once it's out of the oven heating, there, I think we're done. That's good enough. I'm going to throw this away. It's full of oil. And I'm going to hold this lid underneath the sink for a minute, and we'll dry it off real quick and we'll let you look at it. Yeah. I've hung out with some people that are very, very fussy and very good with cleaning and caring for their iron. And they would probably never allow their cast iron to be discolored as I have. But, I only have so much time. But once in a while, you got to take the time and take care of this stuff because it'll last forever. This stuff will last generations and generations. More paper towels, please. I go through a roll of these, and it seems like a day when you're doing cast iron. So already this looks great. Give it a nice black, deep finish. And then when it comes out of the oven, it will look great. So big improvement on that. And just quickly, I'm not going to try and do a whole video right now on how to season cast iron. There's a lot of people that do that. What I'm kind of showing is how to get these maintained. In my case, the day before the turkey day, the day before, we're going to cook a turkey. So here's this one, and it's not perfect, as you can see. I cook on a trivet in here, but this is just kind of a maintenance. But here's the lid. It's got a nice black sheen to it. You can kind of see through it. It's a little bit transparent. That will, some of that will go away after we cook it in the oven. So again, here's the big oven. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out best I can. These are a little difficult because I cannot put it in the sink and dump it out and so forth. So I'll do what I can, and then be just a lot of paper towels and a lot of water, and eventually I'll get her clean. We'll stick it in the oven at about 400 degrees for 30-40 minutes, and then just shut the oven off and let it cool slowly. Tomorrow morning I'll get it out and start loading the turkey. And I think I'll do a video on cooking a turkey. I got a 23-pounder. We're going to bring it out here tomorrow, and we're going to cook 23-pound turkey in a 17-inch deep Dutch oven, using charcoal as our heating source. So if this is your first time visiting my channel, thanks for stopping in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you again on the next one.